This episode really hit home. Hey guys, Sully here. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 75 of Super, so let's get this started. The episode starts with Goku wanting to train, but no one's free to train with him. Essentially everyone has their own reason for being busy. Vegeta's case is interesting though. Goku said that Vegeta just glared at him. And from what's being implied and from a couple of, spoilers I saw the other day, if you don't like spoilers, I guess you should skip a few seconds, probably about 30 seconds ahead. But by the looks of it, Bulma's finally going to be pregnant with Bulla, or Bra in the Japanese. So she's finally going to be a thing from what I heard, so I'm glad that's the case, because I was starting to get worried that she wasn't going to actually become a thing outside of GT, so I'm glad she's coming. Chi-Chi asks Gohan to train with Goku, because he can't find anyone to train with, and at first he seems reluctant, but then he transforms into his Saiyaman suit. Oh, Gohan. The training sequence between Goku and Gohan was absolutely amazing. The animation was really, really good. It was just a really beautiful fighting sequence. It was really well choreographed, and it made Gohan look really good. It shows that he's still got a lot of power. Like, they start off in their base forms, and they are pretty even, to be honest. Like, Gohan's surprised at Goku's speed to begin with, and then he kind of gets his head in the game. Then they both transform into Super Saiyan, and they have quite an intense training session, and it just looked really awesome. I don't think they could have really done that training sequence better. But essentially after that, because Goku and Gohan are really going at it in their training, they destroy the field that Goku was ploughing, and yeah, essentially Chi-Chi tells Goku he has to train somewhere else because he can't train near the house. So Goten suggests that Goku should train with Krillin, and before Chi can say anything, Goku pretty much runs out the door. She tries to say to Goku that Krillin's a policeman and be busy, but Goku just rushes off. But yeah, Goku flies towards the town, towards Krillin's house, and he notices there's a robbery going on, and there are these crazy criminals shooting guns, and it turns out Krillin and a few other cops are trying to apprehend the criminals, and something interesting happens in this scene. Pretty much just before Goku arrives, Krillin is pretty much trying to sort the criminals out with the cops, and one of the criminals goes to shoot the cop, and the bullet's just about to hit him, and Krillin kind of dashes in the way and saves him, but he ends up getting a flesh wound because of it. And that's quite surprising, because beforehand, like, Krillin is quite strong in general, but it shows he's gotten a little weaker over time because he's being able to be wounded by bullets, essentially. So and it was quite interesting to see in Super, because they actually showed a bit of blood in this episode, which Super just does. It's not a case that Super doesn't show blood. It's more a case of that was more in Z, and Super's really toned down on the blood. So it's kind of refreshing in a sense to see it, or it was more surprising in my opinion. I found it a bit surprising. But yeah, essentially after this, Goku arrives, and he helps Krillin stop the criminals. He bends their guns up in classic Goku style. But yeah, pretty much he sorts them out, and then Goku asks Krillin if he could train with him, and Krillin basically just he tries to kind of shrug it off and be like, oh well, I'm kind of busy. But they end up going to Krillin's house anyway, and essentially yeah, Krillin gets bandaged up, sorts his wound out, and Goku asks him again, can you train with me? And he's trying to kind of put it off again. He doesn't really want to say no to Goku, but he doesn't exactly want to say yes, because you can really see in this episode that Krillin, his confidence is quite low, in the sense of he just thinks he doesn't stand a chance against Goku power-wise, which is true. Like, if Goku goes at 1% of his power, he'd still really hurt Krillin, and Krillin knows that, and you can really see that. And Krillin's kind of trying to say no, but then 18 basically says to him that the man she married wasn't like this pitiful or weak, wasn't a weakling. That was what she said. And then Marin also says like she wants a strong daddy, and like you can see in Krillin's face that he's really like upset with those comments. Like, not with Marin, because he just wants to make himself look good and be strong for her, so she can look up to him. But with 18, you can tell her comment really hurt him emotionally. Like, he didn't expect her to say that, and he's starting to realise that, yeah, he has gotten weaker, and that you can just see how his confidence has gone down. And essentially, after Marin says a couple other things about, she asks if her daddy's weak, and if Goku's stronger than him, and Goku says, yeah, I am stronger. You know what he's like. But yeah, essentially after those comments, and after hearing Marin say things like that again, he gets a bit of motivation, and it kind of psychs him up to get training, because obviously he doesn't want to be weak, and for his family. And I think that's really respectable, and I really like that, because it's quite relatable in a sense, because in a way, although he's got some like special powers, Krillin is kind of one of the more normal characters in Dragon Ball, and you really get to see this in this episode. Yeah, so essentially, Krillin then goes with Goku, and they go to Master Roshi's place to train, because Krillin says to Goku that he wants to train, let's go. And yeah, they fly to Roshi's, and essentially, Krillin asks Roshi if he'll retrain him, because he wants to get stronger, and he bribes Roshi like he did in Dragon Ball, the dirty magazine, or like a magazine with loads of pictures of girls in it. I found that really funny. I love Roshi. He's always a laugh. And yeah, Goku also kind of says, yeah, can you retrain me as well, because he wants some training. And Roshi kind of, after a little bit of funny banter from him, they just kind of start. And yeah, to begin with, they have Goku and Krillin spar. This is where the turtle costume comes in from the episode preview last week. So Goku's wearing the costume to kind of help prohibit his movement, so Krillin can stand a chance while he trains against him. That's basically all it's for. And Roshi just like tells him to like spar pretty much. And they begin to spar pretty much. And Krillin's trying to hit Goku, and even with the suit on, Goku's just incredibly fast. It's not really hindering Goku that much. It's not really hindering him at all, as Krillin says. And Krillin's trying really hard to hit him, and he basically can't hit him. He doesn't land one blow on him. He just doesn't really stand a chance, in all honesty. And that really hits home for Krillin as well, because that's what he's been thinking all along. It's kind of proving his fears to be true, to an extent. And yeah, Goku hits Krillin and knocks him back, and Krillin can barely took it, and he kind of half blocked it, and he goes flying nearly into a tree and manages to stop himself. But then Goku's going to go in for another attack, and Master Roshi tells him to stop, and essentially they just quit their training there, and Goku's really happy because he got to get some fighting in. And Krillin looks kind of a little discouraged to begin with, but when Goku says like, that was really good training and stuff, he kind of looks a bit more happy, and he kind of perks him up a little bit, and he helps him up. And then it transitions to nighttime, and Goku's sleeping, obviously, like he does. He's so simple. Wow, that's what you do at night. But essentially, Krillin is kind of training at night on his own in the moonlight near the ocean. And essentially, after seeing him train for a few seconds, Krillin looks down, and you can really see that he doesn't really have much confidence, to be honest. Like, he's really discouraged, and he just feels really bad with himself. And I personally really connected with Krillin at this point, because like, he's really relatable, and it's not just that. It's more a case of, you can tell how much his family means to him, and like, it's like more of a case of, I think most of us can kind of feel where I'm coming from. Like, I just feel really bad for Krillin, because he's a person who tries so hard and everything, and he just notices, and he's noticed that the gap between Goku and him in power, and just generally everyone else, has become so big, and he just feels really weak, and that he can't do anything. And that it's just like, on what 18 said to him by calling him a weakling, it really like hurt him like emotionally, and his confidence. And his confidence is pretty down anyway from what was happening that day. So yeah, I just felt really bad for Krillin. But essentially after this, he's looking down. He looks really like down the dumps. And Master Roshi quickly like chats to him and says that essentially he has lots of doubt within him, and you can see that, and Roshi's right. And Krillin's kind of looking at Roshi like, well, yeah. Well, he doesn't say that, but like, and then Roshi pretty much says, you have lots of doubt, and everyone's moved forward, and you're struggling to move forward. And that's another thing which really hit home. Like, Roshi really knows Krillin as a person, and he can tell that Krillin's kind of stuck in the sense of he doesn't know how to move forward when he feels so like afraid of people that are stronger than him and that he can't stand a chance. And yeah, I think this has a really good message because this kind of hit me as well. Like, it's more a case of in life you do get those times where I doubt myself a lot of the time, and I want to go somewhere or do something, and I have like dreams I want to achieve and things I want to do, and a lot of the time there are times where I do feel like I can't do it, and like people are a lot better than me, and how am I going to do this? But I always have a mentality of never giving up, but sometimes I do feel discouraged and feel like, well, I don't think I can do this. But obviously, if I do apply myself, and if Krillin applies himself, you can break through those doubts and you can push forward, and that's what I'm going to make sure to do. And that's probably the thing I loved the most about this episode. It kind of actually inspired me to kind of try and break through emotions that I really need to do. It's got a little deep, but yeah, I just want to tell you why I like the episode, and that's a really good message, and I'm really happy that they've done this. And like, you can tell the message kind of hits Krillin a bit as well, and it basically cuts to the morning, and Krillin's up for training, like he's ready to carry on and get stronger, and Roshi essentially tells him and Goku that this time to continue their training, he's going to make them do an errand, like classic Dragon Ball. And essentially Roshi says that, I think this is just like a way to get them to go to the island, but he basically says he needs this herb, this like special herb. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's kind of like a mystical herb that he's already got one, but he needs more of them, which can give him lots of strength. But yeah, help his bones and stuff. But yeah, they need to go to this island, so they fly over there, and essentially Roshi told them that whoever gets the herb first and gives it to him is the winner. So it's like a race. And they basically go over to the island, and it seems pretty normal. And Krillin's up for it, and Goku's up for it. And it seems like a nice adventure. And then, just before they really go further into the forest, they enter the forest and start walking. And they're discussing about, like, it's going to be hard to find the plant because it's such a big place. But out of nowhere, fortune teller Baba appears. Baba. Yeah. And, which is Master Roshi's brother. Master Roshi's sister. We all know that. She says it like every time we see her. But yeah, she basically tells them that the plant they're looking for is ahead, and she knows what's going on because she's a fortune teller and everything, so she knows what's going on. And there's a funny little talk between Goku and her, like normal. He calls her granny and everything, and like that is funny. But yeah, essentially they go into the forest, and they're kind of up for it. Krillin's really up for it. He wants to get the herb and, you know, do his training. But they go further into the forest through this giant, like, gaping, like, monster mouth, which is like, it looks like a cavern of some description. And it looks a bit creepy, but they go in there anyway, obviously. And then it comes near the end of the episode, the big, like, cliffhanger. But essentially, they go into the cavern, and it's kind of an even larger forest inside. And it's kind of really dark and murky. And, like, Krillin starts to get a bit afraid because it's really, really creepy. And Goku's saying, like, oh, this place is weird. And it really gives off a really creepy ambience. But yeah, essentially, Mist comes in once they get a certain amount of the way through. And all the old villains in, like, not shadow form, but, like, vision form appear. That kind of, like, it's kind of a bit like the Hachiak movie, where they kind of appear as, like, representations of themselves. So, like, all the old villains appear. So there's Tambourine, who's the most kind of important one, who appears last. And for those of you who haven't seen the original Dragon Ball, Tambourine is one of King Piccolo's kind of like slaves that he creates, or like children, I guess. And he's actually the first person to kill Krillin. He kills Krillin in Dragon Ball. And yeah, so Krillin's afraid of him. But essentially, the first one to show up, Cell. And Goku and Krillin are just like, what the heck? Because obviously Cell's dead. And then, Cell, Frieza, Nappa, Vegeta, they all appear in giant form. And there's a couple other ones, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's really awesome just to see them in the anime. Even though it's not really them, it's just kind of like a fake version. But Krillin's really scared. and he kind of falls over. And yeah, it basically ends on Tambourine appearing and Krillin being scared, and then the episode ends. But yeah, this episode, in my opinion, was really good. It was nice to see more of Krillin and go more in depth of how he's feeling and into his character, and just generally to see Goku and Krillin together again, because it's been a long time since they've had an episode to themselves. And if you're a fan of the old Dragon Ball training sequences in the original Dragon Ball, you'll really enjoy this episode. It's kind of brought back that kind of vibe, and they came to see like Roshi to train them, and yeah, it's really good. But overall, like, I probably blabbered on a bit too much in this review, but I really enjoyed this episode, and the messages within the episode for Krillin, and just in general for everyone, really hit home to me. And yeah, I'm going to be happy to see Krillin kick butt in the next episode. So yeah, overall the animation was really great, the story was great. I would give this like a really high rating. I just really enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, please give the video a like, because it really means a lot to me. And anyway, my name is Zuli, and I'll catch you down the road.